Very good morning, everyone. You're watching Chris live on Chris's Real Talk on the 23rd of April 2019. Happy St. George's Day is what I'm going to say to everyone. Happy St. George's Day. It's very underrated, this St. George's Day. No way near as popular as St. Patrick's Day. And I guarantee there won't be a parade later on or anything like that to celebrate it, but we deal with that, don't we? You know, we deal with the inequality of England being pretty much trodden down by the rest of everyone else. And before I get into what I had to deal with yesterday, hello one-eyed vapor. Hi. So before I get on to what I had to deal with yesterday, I'm gonna see if I can recite the words to a hymn called Jerusalem. Some of you may know it, some of you may not. And for me personally, I love this song. I love it. It should, as far as I'm concerned, be the UK's national anthem, is what it should be. Instead of singing about some ropey old woman, God save the Queen, we should be singing Jerusalem. You can sing if you like. Are you ready? And did those feet in ancient times walk up on England's mountains green? And was a holy Lamb of God in England's pleasant pastures seen? And did the countenance divine shine forth upon our clouded hills? And was Jerusalem builded here among those dark satanic mills? Bring my bow of burning gold, bring me my arrows of desire, bring me my spear, oh clouds unfold, bring me my chariot of fire. I will not cease from men to fight, nor shall my sword sleep in my hand, till we have built Jerusalem in England's green and pleasant land. There we go. There for me is the anthem of today, St. George's Day. And that'll probably be about as good as a tribute as it's going to get. So, anyway, moving swiftly on. That's enough internets for me. Jokes. I'll give you a spear, I'm pretty sure you would. So, what happened to me yesterday was, I went back to work yesterday for the first time in just over 2 weeks. And no, I wasn't looking forward to it, but I tried making the best of what I had to deal with, you see. And for the most part, I had a really good day going back to work, actually. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. In fact, it was pretty damn good up until the last trip of the day. The last trip of the day. You see, coming up to the last trip, going southbound, there was a road traffic collision in Peckham, and I hope whoever was involved is okay, because it was a nasty smash. I believe one of the doors had to be removed to get someone out, but it was causing traffic. So, you know, it had to be dealt with one way or another. So I was expecting traffic on the way back. Not a problem. I get all the way to the one end of my route I do my search for lost property and defects, and I take my 10 to 15 minute stand time, and then I depart. Now, bearing in mind there was a bloke on the top deck that did not want to wake up, and he was absolutely steaming drunk, and I knew he was awake, he just didn't want to move. So I comes to the first bus stop, and he comes downstairs, all right, and he asked me, what is the best way to get back to Peckham? So I said, I can take you back down to Peckham. Just stay on this bus until we get to the Alsham Centre. But you're going to have to pay your bus fare again. He said, but I paid my bus fare already. I said, yes, on the last trip going that way, you now need to pay your bus fare going that way. So he reluctantly gets out his card and he pays his £1.50. He then sits down at the bottom and shouts out, wanker. Now, if he had a mate on the bus, I would have assumed he was saying that to his mate. But no, he was calling me a wanker because I made him pay his bus fare. So I said, mate, are you calling a wanker? He goes, I've got Tourette's. Really? No, you don't. That's an insult to people that actually suffer with Tourette's, isn't it? So I said, do yourself a favour, sit down, stay quiet, stay out of trouble, we'll get to where we're going, you can go on your way, whatever. Sits down again, calls me a wanker again. I said, you know what, mate, I don't need this. There's the door. Go and get on someone else's bus and call them a wanker, see how far you get. And then he says, you're only trying to make me leave because I'm black. Basically calling me racist. Me, of all people. So you see the problem I've got now is I'm not moving with this guy on my bus. I'm not taking him anywhere. One, for calling me a wanker, and two, for calling me racist. And I took great offence to what he said. Oh, in fact, you may have heard me say this on several other videos. It takes a true racist to spot racism where there is none. Because the only reason he was calling me racist is because of my white visage. Because I'm white, basically. Oh, no. No, I'm not lying. This guy called me racist for wanting him off the bus, basically. And I lost my temper. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I didn't get out the cab. I didn't swear at him. But trust me, I got rather annoyed. And there's only so much I can say on the bus. So let's see what this says. Ross McGarry is laughing for some reason. Well, the dogs aren't howling, so it's pretty good. Oh, cheers for that. Hi, Plasma's UK Transport. I'll give you a spear. That's enough internet for me. How was your Zombie Jesus weekend? Well, the Zombie Jesus weekend was okay. I got to spend it with my kids, eating a tiny bit of chocolate, to be fair. I'm not a great big fan of Easter because it's lost all meaning. Kids get taught that it's all about the Easter bunny and chocolate when it's not. It's about the resurrection of Jesus Christ, you know. So hence the Zombie Jesus weekend. So yeah, I believe in that. St George was a foreigner. Not many people know that. Brexit. Well, it's funny that you should say that, Patrice, because I know St George was a foreigner, and you don't have to be someone English to be the patron saint of the country. You know, for me, wanting Brexit is not about foreigners. It's about independence. You see, I've got no problem with foreigners. Unfortunately, saying that, a lot of people do, and a lot of people that wish to remain within the EU do, believe it or not. But no, for me, foreigners is not on my list of things that I want Brexit to happen for. No, mate, more like Piggy Pink. Absolute madness. Yeah, tell me about it. Do you like Citaros? I've never driven a Citaro, to be fair. It's a Mercedes, so I can only assume it's quite comfortable. Let's have a look at this. Do you get right oddballs on your bus? I was laughing at you singing, mate. Jesus' erection. Resurrection, not erection. It means getting up again. Or getting it up again. Yeah, I do get some oddballs on the bus, to be fair. And 9 times out of 10, I'm extremely patient. But when someone sits there, calls me a wanker, then accuses me of being racist, no, I don't like that very much, to be fair. So that's what I had to deal with yesterday, which I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Anyone who knows me knows I'm so far from racism. It is absolutely unbelievable. So what's happening today? So I'm starting work today at around about 10:30. And unfortunately, I have to drive that absolutely horrendous triaxle bus. So if there is anyone in the South London area and you want to see a triaxle bus, I'll be driving it from about 10:30, and it will be on running number 237. So if you haven't seen it or had a picture of it yet, I'll be the one driving it. So there's that. A few other things have happened within the garage I work in, actually, because I like to have a rant. As a lot of people would be aware by now, I like to rant. And it's not just on YouTube I like to rant. I like to have a good old whinge when I'm at work about certain things, like the state of the gents' toilets, or the overpriced crap coffee machine, or the fact that the canteen sells the same food every day that is extremely overpriced, should be subsidised, but it's not. But no, I think I've been whinging a lot about a certain amount of things, and it's almost like management have taken notice of what I've had to say. They've listened, because over the last 3 weeks, the toilets have been, I'm not going to say fixed, they've been sorted out, so they're clean now. They've had a lick of paint, you know, they're not nasty to go in anymore. So that's a sort of a win, you see. And the coffee machine's been replaced by a different coffee machine, granted, but it works, and it's faster, and it's still 30p, and you still get relatively okay cup, but it's a bigger cup. And not only that, not only that, this machine also sells soup in a cup. So for those bus drivers that are skint majority of the time, like myself, you can get soup for 30p in a cup. Might as well get 2. That's a meal right there for 60p. And they've also got a vending machine, which I've been on about for ages, which again should be subsidised, but it's not. But to be fair, it's a step in the right direction. So there is that. Let's read some more of these. Let's have a look. Good morning, Adam. I am sorry for the first language, for my fist language. Sorry, not my fist language. Good job. Buses have CCTV. Well, it's all well and good buses have CCTV, but it only ever works when you're being incriminated. When you want it to work in your favour, magically the data gets corrupted, and I've had first experience on that. Why can you only drive the Route 12? Double-decker Anton can drive several routes. Well, there's a reason for that, and there's several reasons. The first reason is I did actually drive other routes. I did. I drove not only the 12, I drove the 45, the 68, the 468, and the P5. Now, the reason why I don't drive those buses anymore is because the 45, 68 and the 468 have all gone to different companies, different garages. So I can't do those on a rest day anymore. And I also can't drive the P5 anymore, purely because it's been over 6 months since I've driven either a single decker bus or the route itself. I've not driven either for quite a while. So if I was to go out on the road now and anything was to happen, I would get the blame. So I need to officially route learn it again and get retype trained on a single decker bus, blah 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 blah. Hence the reason why I only drive the Route 12, although I am type trained on other buses now, which is okay. Chris, did you get off the bus or what? No, I didn't get off. I got him off the bus. He left eventually after I managed to call the police, and I sat there long enough for the police to get there, and they didn't turn up. However, several police cars did go whizzing up the road, which made this absolute pillock get off after saying sorry. And sorry doesn't wash with me, especially when you're only saying it so I can let you sit down and carry on with the journey, just so you can get what you want. You know, that's a fake apology. I don't believe in that. The thing is, when he got off the bus, all the language came out. You know, you fucking wanker, you this, you that, fuck you, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Well, I tell you what, son, and I hope he does see this one day, I really do. You catch me anywhere where I'm not inside the bus, whether I'm wearing my uniform or not, I will allow you to have the first swing for free. And if you don't kill me with it, you better run, because I'm a nasty git. If it's black, hot and stuffed with caffeine, I'd drink it, says One-Eyed Vapor. I'm pretty much on par with you there. Good morning, Roy. Morning, Sarah. How's you today? Yep, I'm okay. Reese Holmes, hi. How's your morning going, Chris? Well, it's okay. My morning's going okay so far. I've had a bit of bad news. I've got to drive that ridiculous triaxle, but I'll make the most of it when I get in the bus. You know, although it's a horrendous bus in itself, you know, it is relatively smooth, I suppose, and it is relatively quick. Those are probably the only two good points about the vehicle. I still stand by what I said originally. It's definitely a health and safety hazard. Someone is going to end up getting hurt on that bus, or someone's phone is going to end up getting damaged because you can plug it in and stand it on the phone stand or whatever. You know, it's just, there's so many things wrong with that bus. You know, it was actually easier to pick out the things that were good with it. You know, smoothness and quickness. That's pretty much it. How does the triaxle bus have Wi-Fi? No, it does not have Wi-Fi. It does not have Wi-Fi. Reminds me of Lego. A bit, that triaxle. Yeah, it kind of does. It does look like a Lego bus, doesn't it? I don't like it. And the thing is, I have to drive it today. I have to drive it tomorrow. I have to drive it on Thursday. Oh yeah. And I'm not sure about Friday, because Fridays are always different. Caden, hi, how are you? Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Happy St. George's Day. For those that haven't caught the start of this video, I have in the settings on YouTube's enabled DVR. So you should be able to skim back and catch the rest of this from the beginning. That should be possible. Another thing I've been doing lately is I've been live streaming my gaming on PC. I've found an amazing game called Warframe. I've been playing that on my PC. I like it a lot. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of grinding involved. You know, for those who don't know what that means, it's worth a Google. But you really have to grind away at playing the game. There's a lot of content there. There's a lot of resources to collect, and it is one of those sit down for a day just to get the first bit of the game to grips with it, sort of thing. But no, it's good, and it is on console. So for those who like a good Space Ninja hack and slash shooter, and it's free, download Warframe. You'll be pleasantly surprised. For those of you who like Destiny that were somewhat disappointed with it, or for those of you that mistakenly bought Anthem, and I'm glad I didn't buy it, and you wanted more, this game is what both of those games should have been. And it's been around forever. You know, it's had graphic updates, content updates, and it's all free. The only thing you have to spend real money on, if you choose, is different Warframes itself, like the suit of armor, which you don't even have to do that. You can literally buy the blueprint from a vendor and build it, providing you have the resources available, which again is half the fun of playing the game. So, you know, there is that. So I have been playing Warframe. You can check out those 3 streams that I've done. So cheers, Sarah Cornelius. Buses where I live are badly run by a bus company. I'm sorry to hear that, Reese. You see, now London is very unique in the way buses are run, because buses in London are run on a thing called headway, which is not so much the time of when it's due, it's the gap between the buses. So whereas elsewhere in the country you can expect a bus, say, every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes, every 20 minutes, even every half hour to every hour, you know, you expect that bus to be there at a specific time. In London, on high frequency routes, which is a good 90% of all routes in London, is no set time. It's more of a guideline. You know, we have to run with a specific gap. So on my route we're looking at least 6 minutes between buses, and it doesn't matter whether we're actually late or not, as long as there's a gap between myself and the bus in front of 6 minutes, and from myself to the bus behind of 6 minutes. That's a headway. That's providing a service, a regular, reliable service. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work out that way, because we still try to be on time, because we know when we're on time or late. But it's all about that headway, that regular gap, keeping it to an even gap. That's what we do. That's what we try and do. That's how buses in London are run. Elsewhere in the country, I think the headway system was adopted, especially if there's enough buses on a specific route, it may work better. It may work better. Obviously, it is different because London is there's so many different routes. I think there's like 900 routes in London. I mean, the route I drive is about 7 miles long. Elsewhere in the country, you can have routes that are 10, 15, even 20 miles long. So having that many buses on a route that long would be quite difficult, I can imagine. Do you think the system is better or worse? What system? Depends what system you're talking about, because I think the headway system is good. I'm not going to say it's better. It should still be run on times, like stick to on time, but with a balance of headway. So if you run your bus on time, but you see you're getting close to the bus in front, drop it back a little bit. If you're running early, then, you know, drop it back a little bit. If the bus in front of you is taking the P, call the controller and say, look, I'm on time, I'm struggling to maintain headway, can you help me out by dropping the bus in front back a little bit? See, that's how it should be done, but it's not really operated that way. Headway is better in some respects. Basically, it can be good if it's done correctly, and there is a mixture of faults here, because some drivers, they do take the P a little bit with headways. They'll make it their absolute sole mission to get everywhere as early as possible, because in their eyes, the quicker they get that trip over and done with, you know, that's just less for them to do during the day. You know, you're still doing the same amount of trips, you're still picking up people, you're still stopping at bus stops and letting them off. You know, you're still a bus driver. Do your job correctly. Another issue we have is the controllers. And what a controller will do is unnecessarily hold a bus back because the system doesn't update in real time. The iBus system we use is connected to their system, which has to go all the way to TfL, go to the company I work for's head office, then go back to the control room, and the delay is something like 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes. It is silly, you see. So anything can happen within 2 minutes. Say I could have a short headway, the bus in front could get past whatever traffic that he or she is in, and then end up flying through. But because the controller sees me as being too close to the bus in front, I'll get asked to hold. I will hold. I'll then move after 3 minutes. The traffic will be clear, but the bus in front would have disappeared. And then I'll end up with an extended headway of 8 to a 9 bar headway, which equates to around about 11 to 12 minutes. And that's not a good service, you see. And the thing is, us as drivers, we're experienced enough to know when to do it without being told, and where the traffic hotspots are and how long it takes to clear certain areas. But the thing is, we have to comply with instruction, you see. So for the sake of the controller not just letting us get on with it and doing it ourselves, the service then gets ballsed up because I end up running late from following instruction, and then the bus behind ends up catching up, and then that bus will have to hold, and then the bus behind that one will catch up, and then that bus will have to hold. And it just goes on and on and on until someone ends up getting pissed off with it and ends up not complying with the instruction, and then it gets titsed up even more, all because the controller didn't know how to leave us alone. So that there is a bit of an issue. One of the routes, North Wales, the number 11 from Ryle to Chester, is 2 hours run each way. And it's every half an hour for that service. Damn. I mean, that's a long way. That's a long, I'm not being funny. I mean, it's taken me 2 hours on a bad day to go from Dulwich to Oxford Circus stuck in traffic. But a 2 hour trip, ooh. I mean, that in London, that would be classed as a low frequency route. And a route that long would generally be on a night route, and it wouldn't take 2 hours. That would normally take on a night route about 1 hour and 20 minutes to 1.5 hours because the roads are dead. But damn, that's a long way. Anyway, I'm gonna go. I wish everyone has a lovely, let me just read this off. So have you ever had lost animal on your bus? No, I've never had a lost animal on the bus. However, that bloke that was on my bus yesterday evening, he didn't know where he was going, and he was pretty much an animal. So in that respect, yeah, you could say I've had a lost animal on the bus. Anyway, I am going to go. I wish everyone has an absolutely wonderful day, and I'll be back later on in the week.